So, all righty, here we are. So it's February 10th. Where I cannot believe it's January is past.
I know.
It's a small group. There's lots of people getting ready for winter break, which up in the Northeast. Alicia, do you guys have winter break next week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of people are getting ready for winter break, going on fabulous vacations where it's warm all next week. Whereas some of us will be home with all of our kids. Amy, will you?
I will.
Me too. So anyways, it's a small group, but I'm glad that we're recording this because I think we can get through it pretty quickly. But it's really, really important information, I feel like, in terms of Success Club and how to constantly hit it every single month. So just in case she watches the recording, it's not letting me show any of the pictures, but I did want to highlight the fact that Juliette Hahn hit diamonds last week, which is awesome. Yes. And I got to see her Thursday night because there was a child psychologist speaking at our nursery school, and she went to that, and then a couple of us went out for martinis afterwards. Not really 21 Day Fix approved, but better than wine. We weren't drinking a bunch of sugar. So that was really cool that I got to see her, and I'm not kidding. It's just like I walked out of that night feeling so good and excited because she is so excited, and it's so fun to see people just getting excited about their accomplishments. And she's been working hard building her team and being engaged with her challengers. So Juliet, if you watch this, you're doing awesome. Okay, so let's go into Success Club. So there's 3 things that I want to touch on tonight. Heidi is the master at freemiums, and we're not going to talk so much about freemiums. You guys all know how to run freemiums. Most of you have run your own freemium, and we have so much content about freemiums that if you have not run a freemium, we have them all written with images. They're ready to go. And with that being said, I have to sidebar for a second. And Alicia, your freemium that you just did and revamped for the 5-day clean eating is freaking amazing. It's blowing me away. The recipes are delicious. The people are loving it. And I really am just now like getting into it with day 3, but you did a really good job with that freemium.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing because that was awesome.
Seriously. She took the 5-day. I found this 5-day freemium from Anita Myron. I don't know if any of y'all follow her. She like opens up her books. And so I took a 5-day clean eating, sort of changed it around, but sort of, left things that I wasn't too happy with, because it was over the summer and I didn't have a ton of time. Well, Alicia took it, revamped it, changed the recipes, and so I'm making them as I go, which is sort of adding a little element of stress this week, just because I'm like, I gotta get the picture of the food. But it's really, you did a great job. It's really
Thank you.
Really good. So
Is that the one you're running now?
Okay. With the Asian meatballs are like to die for. I mean,
that was like the favorite one of the group. That
was really good.
Those are a big hit in my house.
They're amazing.
I was trying to find ones that were, because like I have one child who will eat everything and one who used to eat everything and now will only eat like 5 things. Depends on the day. So I was trying to make things that would be more family friendly.
Yeah.
But for some reason that one seemed like a hit, and I was most nervous about that because it has sriracha in it. But it's not that spicy. It's just like a little bit.
Yeah. And then those Denver egg cups, like if I did not have those, I had 20 minutes at home today and I popped 3 in the microwave and put it on a plate and I ate it in my Suburban as we were going,
You know what's awesome about that too? I ran into somebody at my preschool who did the challenge with me, and she was like, oh, so we love those so much. Last week we did a variation of them. And so she took Canadian bacon and used as the cup and then put the eggs inside with just the veggies in it. So I think I'm going to make a variation for that for some other post, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, those are like I literally had. I think I ate like 5 or 6 in a row. I couldn't like stop eating them.
And I dumped the bottle of sriracha on top of them. I just had them for dinner again. I threw them on top of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So good. But off the topic, I will say this. So I don't use Pam that much, but I used Pam for the Denver egg cups. So I threw the Pam in, poured in the eggs. Well, when I just took them out of the container to like seal them in the airtight thing, here's like, and Allison, you might know what this is. Around the edges of the eggs is a silver film. Silver. Is that from the Pam or is that from my pan?
I've never had silver. I've used Pam
I've never had silver.
I
Did you
used
use
pan.
a
I didn't have any silver.
non-stick pan?
I did.
Is it something that's been washed a lot?
No, it's brand new.
I was looking at that recipe, and the Pam, I was worried people are going to freak out because Pam's not really
Yeah.
the item. I was going to suggest doing like getting butter and then dipping a paper towel in it, and
Yeah. Or you could do like your oil mister.
I did the oil mister,
Yeah.
and I did it that way on the pan. It works great.
Yeah.
Has anyone tried cupcake liners with an egg dish? I wasn't sure how that would go.
You know, I have those little silicone ones that I use all the time. I don't know if people are like,
People don't have
those,
Yeah,
but
that's a good idea. But
I use them as containers. So if I'm giving kids a snack, it's a decent amount. Like they like them because they're colorful, but I can give them chocolate chips. I put them in those little silicone containers and they feel like they're getting a whole snack, but it's like so much smaller than what they would get in a bowl.
yeah, I like that.
And it's good for sauces, you know, so they can dip and it doesn't get all over the whole plate.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyways.
Well, okay. So the content of all of our freemiums, between the water freemium and the clean day eating and the crock pot and the squat challenge and praying for your children, praying for your husbands, there's like a bazillion that have been written. So we don't really want to focus on freemiums. We want to focus though on what Heidi does so well, and that is how to market them. And let's also kind of lower the bar a little bit, because like when my freemium, I think, has 60 people in it. And I was like, oh, it's not doing so well. But that's just because Heidi's bar is so crazy. I cannot be setting the bar at like 160 people like hers was. So I think a really good goal is like 25 new people. I think that's a good goal, just so that you guys don't run a freemium and you try it. And I really did try to market this freemium everywhere. And I just didn't have, like, you're going to have some months where it hits, like my crock pot one blew up. And you're going to have other months like this one where but there's 4 people that I know I'm going to sell a challenge pack to. So it doesn't really matter how many people. It matters like the engagement and who you get into it. Yeah. So I'm going to turn it over to Heidi in a second just to talk about some of the tricks in the trade on how she markets her freemiums. And then when she's done, I'm going to talk a little bit about inviting, because that's a huge part of Success Club. And I'm going to talk about like reinventing yourself, because that's, I think, a huge part on not getting stale for your audience. So those are the 3 topics we'll cover tonight. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Up to you. I'll chime in, but let's hear it. Give us your wisdom.
So I broke it down into just the steps that I do my clean eating or my freemiums, and it's mostly clean eating. So I did crock pot was my first one, and then I've done 2 clean eating ones. So this is what I did. So I first did a poll on Facebook, and I think I saw Alicia did the same thing. So I put out there, I said, out of these 3 topics, which one would you want to do? I did clean eating, I did exercise, and there was another one. I forgot what it was. Maybe it was time management. I don't remember, but it was 3 different things. And overwhelmingly, like, the response was clean eating. So what was great about that was I got a lot of eyes on that poll. And I didn't do the fancy poll that you guys do. I literally just did like 1, 2, or 3, like which one do you want. And then
the fancy poll, meaning the one that Facebook lets you do.
Yes, yeah.
Which is probably easier than making a photo file, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah, exactly. Like mine was like probably fancy to you guys, right?
Right.
So I literally made the image like clean eating, whatever. And then as people all said they wanted clean eating, I wrote all their names down. Just because I was like, hey, that's a great start, right? For people saying they wanted clean eating. So then I stole Tracy's. My first one was the crock pot one, which is what you and Allison created that one, right?
Tracy created it. I photoshopped it.
Okay.
Allison made it look beautiful. Really.
Yeah. So I mean, I just took that. I hadn't even made any of the recipes. It was like the week before Thanksgiving, and did that one. So whether it's that one, I did Tracy's clean eating one, and then the third one I did was Alicia's clean eating. So
use Alicia's.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really, but honestly, both of them, I got a great response from both of them. They were both really good. So so what I did was, once I knew I was going to do whatever freemium it was, I decided obviously whose stuff I was going to take, because why reinvent the wheel? And then I decided what week I was going to actually have it, obviously. And the best time to do it is either the last week of the month or the first week of the month. Because if you do it the last week of the month, then you will have the conversations to be able to walk into the new month with those Success Club points pretty much already done, right? Because you're going to get enough people to where you're going to sign them up. And that's the whole point, is to kind of build your network. So make sure you calendarize that, like you know which week it's going to be. And then what I did is I promote it anywhere from a week to a week and a half in advance. So if I'm going to have it February, let's say February 4th, then I back up in the calendar and I make sure I'm starting to advertise that week or week and a half before it actually starts. Because it takes a while for people's eyes to get on those posts. So you want some time for people. Plus, think about the fact you're going to post the grocery list on that Friday before the Monday group starts. So there's going to be that pre-work. So truly, like, you need time for them to be able to see that. And you're going to do your intro video and all of that. So you need to make sure you're planning ahead for that. Then what I do is I advertise it on my personal page. I advertise it on my like page. I advertise it. I created, some of you may or may not have your own private, like I have Fit and Fearless private group page, where, people who, purchase from me are on that page. I advertise it there. And then what I did is I went into Facebook months ago and I joined a bunch of local groups. So I joined moms groups and neighborhood groups. So what I did is in the search.
Sorry, do you want me to screen share so that as you're talking, I can show people where to go? Is that going to be helpful?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go right into Facebook, because sometimes just seeing where you actually go is helpful. Yeah. Can y'all see?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So here she comes. Okay.
So go to the search section, and what I typed there, like, these are some of the things I started with. So I started with first the name of my neighborhood. I don't know if you guys have, like, mine's called Crystal Falls. So I literally typed in Crystal Falls and it came up with like all these local neighborhood Facebook groups. Okay, see where it says Crystal Falls residential businesses? Like, how awesome is that? Those are people who run their own business out of their home. So like I joined that one.
Okay.
You can probably you probably can't see it, but you can. So I put that, and then you can also see like Crystal Falls. There were other options besides just residential business.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined like 3 or 4 local neighborhood groups. I also did my city. So then I typed in Leander, and all of a sudden I pulled up. Let's see. So see where it says Leander or Cedar Park, Leander, Liberty Hill, Texas Swap.
Mm-hmm.
That has 9,000 people in it. There's Leander Moms Meet. There's like, so I looked at those and I joined those just so I could see how people are. You can even see that I'm a member. It says on the top left, or like next to, so in those, people are posting things that are for sale. So because you can post in that, mine's a free group, so I advertise there. So then I did so type in and this is gonna be a big one, but just type in moms just to start. Okay, so then I, like, for you pop up your groups, but I put like moms and my city, like moms Cedar Park or moms Leander, and you can see the different groups that you can join that are local as well. I mean, obviously you don't have to pick all local stuff. We can sell to anybody, but I just thought I'd start there.
Moms in Boston.
Yeah.
I'm all over that.
Yeah.
Another one I did was working moms, because I know, a lot of times like they're, looking for ways to have quick and easy recipes. I mean, everybody is, but working moms is just a specific group. So like you see working moms of Austin and surrounding areas, like that just popped up. So that's what I started with. And I just started joining these groups, and I advertised with my clean eating in at least 5 to 6 groups. And I mean, some of them I got hits and some of them I got nothing, so, but those people are starting to see me more and more now, and they're seeing me giving free stuff.
Yeah. I think you can also when you search for groups, look for like you could do like moms of boys groups. You can also do that, and you can and it can be so vague, and that's where I think it sort of goes back to who your niche market is. Like when you write down, I am Allison Brinkley, and you write down 10 things that describe who you are, and you go through that exercise, and it helps you understand who your niche is. Then you can be like, moms who love art, moms who love coffee, moms who love Sunday school, whatever it is. And you can find groups that also have the same common interests. And I think you can find, moms who have children with dyslexia. I mean, there's a bazillion things if you just play with that search bar.
Yep, for sure. And one thing that I also found, like, I think after I had run a race, run a marathon, I did running just to see, because I found that a lot of people actually gain weight running because they don't know how to eat properly. So I'm like, that's a niche that, so I agree, like just find things that you are interested in, you enjoy. Those are great groups to join. Yeah. And then I was able to find the ones that I got the most return on my investment. And even though they're free, I just noticed that I got a lot of responses on one and not on another. So I just really started to focus on those. So 5 to 6 groups, my like page, my personal page, my private group page, and that's it. And on my like page, you can pay to boost your posts. So I think I spent like $10 or $15, like not a lot of money on my like page, but I did get some people to join. So in my group, and I think you guys all do this, but in my group, I did put the whole like share on your page, request to be friends with me, and then click on the link. And that's how I got a ton of friends. And obviously that's not always positive, because you don't always want to have some of these weird people as friends, because I definitely had some weirdos. But like you just sort of go with it. And if they're totally strange, I can unfriend them. But I figured I might as well put myself out there and see what happens. And I've connected with some pretty awesome people as well. So I think I ended up getting like 50 new friends just within 2 groups, which is pretty good, in terms of new network. I also liked, by the way, and you guys all might have different takes on this, I am not that networked in my neighborhood. For a long time, my kids went to private school, so I didn't really get to know a lot of the parents in the neighborhood because of that. So that's been huge for me, because now when I walk down the street, like in the past, 6 months, like everybody they're like, hey, Heidi, and they all want to get together and like talk about like coaching actually, and talk about like they actually want to build a relationship with me because they now know me really well in the neighborhood. So that was a big goal of mine, to get more networked around the area. Okay, so then after I posted in my groups, I boosted it every single day. Even in my groups, like even in the groups that I had joined, I either would, because sometimes people would private message me. So if they private message me, I would put their name in the comments to say, hey, I just added you to the group, or I'm so glad you joined. I just came up with some reason to boost it in some way. Like, hey, 2 more days left to, join the group, or like just found a way, or I had somebody else boost it for me to help me out. And then I'm trying to think if that was, then once I got myself, with a lot of people in my group, just like Tracy said, I mean, out of like 160 people, I literally would have maybe 30 or 40 of those people truly engaged in the group. Like some people just never even looked at it again, or took the recipes and ran, or who knows what they did. So what I did was each day, and this is the time consuming part, but it paid off big time for me. Each day when somebody actually commented on my check-in post, I guess you could call it, for the day, I sent them a private message through Facebook Messenger and said, hey, sounds like you really enjoyed the recipe. So glad you're in the group. How are you liking it overall? Always ended it with a question, so they had to respond. And every single time they would respond to me, and we would start a dialogue. And I think I signed up in January. I don't know, it was crazy. It was like 10 or 15 people from that group. So
hi, Deanna.
Hi, Deanna.
And can I just interject? So I used to do that. I used to do it through Messenger. And this challenge group, I am contacting everyone through Streak. And I'm pulling them through my pipeline. So I have a pipeline for my clean eating, and everybody that got a welcome letter, I did it through Gmail, because all the correspondence, if Amy and I are corresponding, I can delete the emails, but they're all going to show up in that Streak person's box so that it's all right there. And then every time someone engages on a post, I pull them through so I know how many times I have had email correspondence with those people, so that I know who I feel comfortable with talking to about a challenge pack at the end of this challenge group, or who I might need to warm up a little bit more before I start talking Beachbody.
So Tracy, how would you have their email addresses?
I asked everyone to send me, when I marketed mine, I asked them to say I'm in and include their email address.
Okay.
And so it was a little more time consuming, but this is the only way right now that I'm going to be able to pull emails over. There's some very more high tech stuff where people can fill out surveys on your Facebook page and it collects emails, but I'm not ready to learn about one of those yet to throw that in there. So I literally just copy and pasted and threw it right into Streak and emailed them. And I used a script. So literally it was a copy paste email. I picked the script, sent it off. It took 3 seconds.
People sent you their emails over Facebook, on the timeline?
That's what surprises me, right? Because then
I would never do that.
public, right?
It's crazy.
They did. And I did give them the out. I would be like, you can either reply with your email address or private message me. And I would say 3 people private message me, but yeah, people put their email address.
Can I ask another question to you, Heidi?
Yeah.
So I joined a couple, 2 local, one dog group and one mom group. And I posted on there. And I felt like it just got buried so quickly and all the other stuff. And I know you're saying, so I didn't boost every day. I think I boosted it once or reposted it. Do you find, did you find that to be an issue? So the bigger one where I was like, oh, this will be a great place. It was the second I put it up, it was under 5 other things.
Yeah, I only had one, the one that you saw that was 9,000 members.
Yeah.
All the other ones were 100 to 300, so it didn't get buried. But the one with the 9,000, it's funny, it got buried, but because it was 9,000, I got the most responses on that.
You did still, okay.
Yep.
And then did you need to be active in those groups before posting? Not necessarily. Okay, because that's another thing. I put a lot of time into posting on those things, and I didn't feel like I got 1 person.
I honestly thought I was gonna have to be active, and there's one particular one that I did try to stay active with it, and I was getting nothing, no responses, no. I was I don't have time to be active in this one and all my challenge groups, and so I probably could do a better job of that, but I just picked my priority, I guess you could say, and it paid off big time.
Okay. I just didn't know, because the affinity thing seemed to work for me with the last challenge group post, where right before I posted for the next challenge group, I did I need a new book post. And then I got enough quick responses on it that I feel like a lot more people saw my challenge post the next day.
Yeah.
So I didn't know with the groups if that was similar.
It very well could be. It's not going to hurt.
Yeah. But it wasn't a big issue for you. You didn't.
It wasn't. But you know what? I bet if I had done that, it would have been even better. So I'm sure you're right. It probably would. I just didn't. But I'm sure it could be a good idea.
But
well, for me, it wasn't. I didn't get the return on investment. So I'd like to maybe not do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I'm not kidding. I marketed my challenge group to so many places, and I just did not have a good month this month on getting people in. Whereas November, I was well, this is easy. I'll just do this, So it depends on the timing. It depends on what time of the day you're posting. It depends on how active people are. So, 1 month might be better than other months,
Yeah. I had tons on November and January, and my engagement in my groups were really, really high. The one in February, I had like 130 something people, but my engagement wasn't as high. So I don't know if it's just that time of year, like Tracy said, it could very well just be that way right now. And so, you know, I might change it up. Like I might not do clean eating next month. I might do something different, you know, just because I've already done 3 of them.
Right.
You know, so I think that's why I think the poll to Facebook is great, because come up with 3 ideas, see what they say.
Right.
And if you get a crazy amount of response in a certain area, like go for it. And like Tracy said, here's the thing. I had, you know, however many people in my group, but what helped me the most was my engagement privately. So at the time I didn't have Streak and I haven't implemented that yet, but so I just did what I was doing before. And so I just had those private conversations on the side, you know, with those people. And that's what got me the success. Was the private conversations. And
no, and I can see that because I have very few people in my eating group, so I'm almost looking at it as like a practice run for me right now, which is fine and it's great. But I did today reach out even to the few people who are like, okay, these people aren't related to me and they're not already customers. So I did private message them and just say, hey, I want to know how it's going. Is there anything you think I could do better to help? Or, you know, like if there's anything you really like. And they responded, and I feel like, and then all of a sudden they responded to a post like right after, because I think they're like, oh, wait, she's watching.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? Something else that I was really hesitant to do that I'm surprised worked. So I was like, you know, I marketed to all my challenge groups. And I thought, I'm going to have all my challenges in there who already drink Shakeology, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. But you know what happened? They all shared it on their walls.
Right.
And all their friends came. And then I ended up building relationships with them. So it actually ended up working out really well.
Okay.
And I was surprised.
That's good. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
But I think moving along to reinventing yourself, and Heidi just said this. I don't know if any of you guys listened to the Amy Silverman call, but it was a really good national wake-up call. And I podcast it so I can forward through all of the accolades and just listen to the 15-minute meat of the conversation. But I was telling, I think, Kira this the other day. Like, I will never forget when I did my first call to action over the summer, and it was crickets. It was like a Sunday night. I did my call to action. I was like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. I can't wait. I'm going to get some people. I'm going to talk to some people. And I'm not kidding. Like it got like 0 likes and no comments. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So 1, it showed me that my warm market had already dried up. But 2, what it really taught me was I was posting pretty much like the same type of CTA, right? Like I would post like the same verbiage, the same stuff, the same like, ooh, I was walking in a fog. I had 4 babies. I was so tired, like the same thing. And so I also sort of feel that way. So I changed it up, but I feel that way about my freemiums, is that I've been doing these clean eating and my graphics girl does a good job, but it's like the same thing. It's like a pretty picture of some vegetables and some picture of me and like, hey, like it, comment, share it. It's the same thing every single month. And so I feel like I need to switch it up. I don't know if I need to do an invite through a video. I don't know if I need to try the poll. I don't know if I need to just do like a totally different, like change up my freemium completely and do something I've never done. But I do think that there's a lot to be said about your stuff getting stale, right? Whether it's a call to action or whether it's inviting people to a freemium, you have to keep it interesting or people are like, again, she's doing it again, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. And I mean, I definitely am in the same situation. You know, like I've done them where I'm like not getting anybody, or I might get 1 or 2 people, which is still 1 or 2 people. But that's why to your point, Tracy, I like the poll, because I think putting it out there to find out I know Deanna's done the squat challenge, and I think the water challenge too, right, Deanna?
I haven't done the water challenge, but I did the squat, and that was pretty successful, I thought. I had a lot of response to it.
Yeah, Deanna and Sharice actually both did the squat challenge, and the engagement was super high. So I'm thinking, okay, I could change it up and do something like that. I mean, so I think just tricking Facebook, you know, people to not like places they're not not, feel like they're expecting the same thing over and over again. So we just have to change it up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think too, and this leads into the last thing that I want to talk about, and that's the inviting piece of it. I think in terms of Success Club, so I get my challengers from 3 different ways. I get them from the CTAs that we're talking about, and I want to go back and talk about those for a minute. I get them from freemiums, and then I also get them from bringing coaches on straight off the bat that I talked about the business opportunity. So I'm getting Success Club points from people that I'm not talking about doing a challenge group with, and I'm not inviting them to be in a challenge group because they need to be healthy. I'm inviting them to talk to me about being a coach. And I'm signing them up right off the bat as a coach, and I'm putting them in a 5-day sneak peek, and I'm putting them in a challenge group right off the bat. So I would say 2 to 4 Success Club points a month, and hopefully that number will grow, is from people, me reaching out to people and inviting them to the coaching opportunity. So let me give you an example, because this was like this is my frog. This was my frog. This was something that was really hard for me to do because I felt I was getting in my own way about the way I perceived the business when I first started, and I can't assume that everyone else is perceiving the business the way that I used to perceive it. So there's a woman who I have known from the nursery school, and she's got a background in physical fitness, and we've worked on committees together, but I haven't really clicked with her. I just haven't had like that chemistry with her, and months have gone by where like I just sort of see her in the halls, but there's not been a good conversation. And she has her own trade that she does. So I emailed her the other day because I needed a repair on something. And I'm like, look, I don't know if this is in your wheelhouse for what you do, but I have this item and will you repair it since you know this item so well? I'm like, that's the first thing I want to talk to you about. This is through Facebook Messenger. I'm like, the second thing I want to talk to you about is being a coach. I'm definitely looking for awesome people to join our team. And I think you'd be a great coach because you have an amazing presence on social media, and because I think you'd be a great encouragement to other women. Period. That was it. I basically was like, do you want to be a coach? Do you want to talk to me? My team is awesome. I think you'd be a coach because of this reason. And she was like so flattered that I had even considered it. She was like, I'm so sorry you're having a coughing spell, Leisha.
Sorry.
It stinks to be that like where it's like dripping and you can't stop coughing. Poor thing. But she is so excited. So then the next step, she was like, I'm so thrilled that you thought of me. She's like, I've been meaning to ask you about coaching, but I just was never able to like work up the courage to come to you about it. And I think so many times that we as coaches, we put call to actions up about our challenge groups or about the coaching sneak peek. And we're like, okay, come to mama. And there's people back there behind the screen that are like, oh, I'd love to do that, but she might not think that I'm good enough. There's people that are thinking that, or I'm not fit enough to do a challenge, or I'm not outgoing enough to be a coach, which is ludicrous. But there's that thought process. I've got a couple new coaches that just came on that are like total introverts. And I'm like, Melanie Mitro is a total introvert. You can be a great coach as an introvert. You don't have to be an extroverted person. So my point is that I feel like with the whole engagement, and I do the same thing with talking to challengers. Hey, so-and-so, I saw you liked my post a couple of months ago about a challenge group, and I've been meaning to follow up with you. I think you'd be great in my challenge group because blank. Let me know what you think. It's as easy as that. I throw out those like simple invitations. I aim to do 5 of those a day. And some days it's 5 for coaching. Some days it's 5 for challenge groups. Some days it's split in half. But that is where I started seeing like now I don't really feel like I need to do a ton of call to actions because I'm doing so much inviting. And then like I invited one lady from church. And here's the thing. I'm getting out of my own way. She's fit. She's thin. She's got 4 kids. She probably doesn't have time to work out. But I'm like, you know what? You said something to me about being like really tired a couple of months ago. I was wondering if you'd be interested in joining one of my challenge groups because it helps a lot of people who are low in energy. Not sure what you do for fitness now, but I think you would really love it. I've got one coming up in 2 weeks. Let me know what you think. She's like, oh, I've been meaning to talk to you. I'm so tired all the time. And so she signs up. She got her sister in and she got her friend in. I'm like, do you want to coach them? She's like, no, you take them. There's 6 Success Club points and I've not done one call to action, right? So it's all through that inviting process, and make your list, do whatever, go through all your Facebook friends one by one. But I think the key for me, and this might not be for you, was getting out of my own way and stop. And I would look at someone and be like, oh, they won't be interested because blank, or, oh, I don't want to ask her about the coaching opportunity because she might think blank. And I finally got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I love coaching. The women that are coaching are amazing. The team is amazing. Who wouldn't want to be a part of this? Who wouldn't want to be a part of this? And so then I would just find a trait in each of those people. I'd be like, I think you'd be a good coach because blank. Let me know what you think. No pressure. Real easy. Some of them never get back to me. Some of them do. Some of them tell me no. Some of them are like, absolutely not. There's no way. Some of them are like, I have been meaning to talk to you for 6 months. You just never know.
So where does it go? Where does it go from there, Tracy? If they say that they are interested in hearing more, do you, when you say you put start them in a sneak peek and then right into a challenge group, is that as a challenger, or are they literally?
I bring them right off
the bat.
Yeah. Obviously, when I'm talking to someone about a coach, so let's use this girl, for example, that I know from the nursery school. So I gave her a packet of Shakeology today. I gave her 2 packets. And I'm like, listen, here's vanilla, here's chocolate. They're the most popular flavors. This is how I want you to make them. This is how I want you to drink it. If you don't like it, I'll work with you to see if we can find a recipe. If we really can't make it work, then there's no reason to keep having a conversation, because it's our proudest product. You sort of have to like Shakeology to do this, Some coaches will tell you that you don't need to, but I mean, come on, you have to drink Shakeology. And then if she likes it, great. If she doesn't, if she likes it, great. Then what we do is she would start with the February 22nd sneak peek, and she would do a challenge group at the same time.
Okay.
And the challenge group, you all know how those run, 21 days. The sneak peek now is 5 days. And then the following Tuesday is a Getting Started Right call. And that's a Zoom call with all the new people, and they usually have a gazillion questions. And we go through those questions, and I give them a couple things to do. And then the next week, which is the first Monday of the month, they go through a 2-week training. So it's like a condensed. Kelly's training is 21 days. I squeezed things I felt like needed more highlighting. Like I spend a full day on understanding what's in Shakeology because I feel like that's important. So I changed some things up a little bit, and it's 2 weeks, weekends are off. So it's really 10 days of training. And their last day of training is getting their Facebook page set up and all that. And every day in the training, they have to do a social media post, whether it be Instagram or Facebook. And I tell them what to post because that's scary for some people. I'll say, okay, today is a Shakeology day. I want y'all to post on Shakeology. And then I link them to 4 different Shakeology posts that other coaches have done. And I'm like, look at these 5, either copy one or make it your own, but here's some ideas. And so they're like, oh, okay, great. Now I know what to do. Okay. Then the next day might be, let's talk about the difference between bringing on a coach and bringing on a customer. And we go into that. And I'm like, okay, sweaty selfie. And here's 5 examples of what you can do for a sweaty selfie.
Okay. And how does the conversation go when you have to broach okay, so to get started, it's going to cost you this much money? Well,
it's $140. It's $140 whether they want to be a coach or a customer.
Right. But if you're approaching them as as an invitation for a business, I hate that it's, okay, I'm inviting you to be part of a business, but you have to start off with kind of an investment. But so I'm just, it gets to that nervous salesy part for me. So
right. Yeah, that's understandable.
That part of the conversation happens.
Well, whether they're coming on as a challenger or a coach, they have to make an investment, right? So I'll say to them, look, I'll say, okay, so this is what a coach does. And they've usually seen me. I'm like, so I run challenge groups and I talk to people and I understand what they love to do, what kind of workout they want. We pick a workout, they drink Shakeology, they buy what's called a challenge pack. It costs $140. It'll be the same for you. And, you know, I haven't had one person bat an eye, because anyone that wants to start a business is going to have to invest something. And 140 is really not that much.
No.
They don't have to keep stock. They don't have
Yeah.
to.
I just get nervous. They're going to think I'm, you know, just in it to make whatever I'm going to make on their 140. And
But you're also getting food with that. So, like,
right.
you know, so.
No, they're getting the shake. So it's true. Yeah, I guess. Right.
And you're getting a workout program and a meal plan. So,
Right.
And they're gonna
It's not
spend,
money for nothing.
right.
yeah, they're gonna spend $4 a day anyway on food. So they might as well spend it on getting a free coach, workout program, and a shake that they couldn't even eat to get the nutrients. So I think it's, and yeah, I don't know which podcast it was, Tracy, but I heard one of them talk about how it is weird how we do like get nervous about justifying this $140 when most businesses out there, you have to invest like thousands of dollars just to start the business. And here we are like 140, you know? So it's totally a what's the word?
It's the getting in the way of yourself thing again.
Yeah, exactly. It's a perception that we have that we're asking people to invest, when how I also look at too is I want you to experience what your people are going to experience.
Right.
So I want you to get the same exact package that they're going to get and go through it day by day and know what it feels like.
No, and of course you can't coach it if you don't know it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So in the end, like, I think it's cheap. I mean, even with going getting Shakeology by itself, as we all talk about, it's $130 by itself.
Yeah.
So they're going to spend $140 and already be able to upgrade to a coach for free.
But you know what it is too, Amy? Like when you're talking to someone about being a coach, you're not having the conversation about like what fitness plan do they want? Like that you're talking about like, okay, they're like, so tell me, like, what do you love about coaching and what does it entail and how do I motivate people? Like they're looking at it much bigger picture. And most coaches I bring on are sort of like, I don't care, sign me up for whatever you're doing workout wise, you know, because they sort of are like, you know, I know I'll eventually do something, or they've been one of my challengers forever. Like I just converted a girl, Jen Hagen was a challenger for 2 years, 6 months with one coach who quit, and then over a year with me.
Right.
So she's
I think that's my hang up is I think if I have them as a challenger, sign them up as a challenger, then I know they get it. Like I'm like, you know, even if you would have questioned whether the Shakeology was expensive a month ago, you shouldn't now, like, because now you get it.
Yeah.
So it's more from to start out with the coaching opportunity is not a leap that I've made yet. So I just need to get myself there.
Yeah. And
this has helped a lot.
Yeah, good. I brought everyone on as a coach my first 6 months because I didn't know there was a customer option. So, you know, there's that. So that you know, I learned how to cancel people real quick when they were like, I'm getting $15 a month. I'm like, from what? I'm like, what? I didn't even know there was a $15 monthly charge. I mean, it was such a mess, you guys. I cannot believe I did not quit. I was like, what have I? And these were like my warm market. These are all my friends, okay?
Are they still your friends?
Yeah, they are. They might talk about me behind my back over coffee. They were like, wow, we haven't gotten our Shakeology in 2 months and we're still getting this charge, Tracy. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Oh goodness. So yes. So I think that here's another thing too, guys, is that the longer that you coach, the easier it gets to be to talk to people about coaching. Because in the beginning, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm an emerald, I got 2 people. And you're still sort of trying to figure out what you're doing. And I was not inviting people to be coaches until I was a 3-star diamond coach. I was totally scared of it. And I felt like I felt like I was perceived as the pyramid scheme girl. I really had this like horrible hang up over that. Yeah. And my husband is the one that actually explained it to me the best. He's like, okay, what did you used to do? You used to manage a sales office for a tech staffing recruiting company. How did you make a bonus? You made bonuses based on how well all of your performers did. He's like, it's the exact same thing as corporate America. Any sales organization, every single person that comes on, you all are the top of your own pyramids. You're
Right.
all the top of your own pyramids, and you're all benefiting from your team. So it really is no different. Every corporate world is structured as binary, just like we are. And I think once I sort of got over that, it made it much, I came off more confident in my questions to people.
Right.
That's funny, Tracy, because my husband did the exact same thing. He was like, "What? Isn't this the way corporate America is and every business out there?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes."
Yeah.
And I literally started, and it's funny that Tracy was talking about, like, starting to talk to people about the coaching opportunity, because I took her advice and started doing the exact same thing. And just in the last 2.5 weeks, I have 5 coaches who want to work the business.
Wow.
5. Like I didn't have anybody 2 months
That
ago.
weren't challengers before, or that were?
They recently, like literally within like a week or two. So they haven't even really experienced it that much.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't hold back because I knew they would be awesome at coaching. And I just said, you would be so good at this. This is why. And they were like, I've been thinking about that because I love what you're doing in the groups. So 1, I wanted to say that, but 2, the way I, because my husband, it's so funny you said that, Tracy, because my husband, the way I explained it was different. So I said, imagine yourself as a CEO, like picture a CEO of a business and how you hire people to be under, even though we don't quote hire them, and how when they're successful, it makes you more successful. And I explained it the way a CEO, that's the way coaching is. And they were like, oh, okay, got it. So like the pyramid thing never even came up.
Okay.
And there's so many, Rodan and Fields, Beauty Counter, Yonique.
Yeah.
There's so many out there. It's like there's obviously something that's in the water in terms of going for like either the working person who wants to get out of corporate America or the mom who's looking for something else to do.
Yeah, it's the wave of the future to be able to work from home and have your own hours and flexibility. So everybody's doing, going that direction.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So get your short little invites out. And I'm talking like 3 sentences and people are like, oh my goodness, thanks for thinking of me. Wow, you just made my day. I'm like, I did? Okay. Yes, I'll be in your sneak peek. So there's a sneak peek coming up on the 22nd. It's a great opportunity for you to invite people to a sneak peek. Hey, so-and-so, I've been watching you on social media. I think you would be a great coach because of this. I have been loving what I'm doing. There's a 5-day no obligation sneak peek coming up if you're interested. Have a great winter break. See you soon. Like if you act like you don't care if they're going to call you back or not, they're a little bit more like, oh, it's like not as casual. It's like, it's just casual, And then they'll pop, I'm putting them all on streak. They'll pop up and I'll wait like 2 or 3 months and I'll come back at them again.
Okay.
Right? That's Megan Jones. 15 months later, she came on as a coach. She was the first person I ever asked. I met her at Tag Sale. So I'm like, you have such a great smile. I think you'd be so encouraging. Do you want to be a coach? Oh, it is. So, all right, ladies. Anyone else have anything? It's 5 till, so I want to wrap up.
When are you going to do your 2-week training the week after your sneak peek?
The 2-week training starts the first Monday, so I think that's March 7th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would love to be in it or look at it just to get ideas. Is that possible? Have you finished it already?
I have 2 more days to do because I'm literally doing it as it goes this week.
You are crazy.
I know.
I'll just be in it.
I'll add you to the group that's going now if you want to go back and look at everything.
Oh, you already have? Oh, you're doing one right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Please do.
Yeah, will you add me as well?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think because I didn't have anybody in it, I didn't realize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going well. And another thing is I'm posting the content the night before.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's
so
good.
I got to get on it. I got to post for tomorrow. But if I post the night before, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback about that because people can sort of do the homework over the course of the night before and through the day, and they like that better. So it's been going really well. They've been loving it. But the key is every single day they have to do a Facebook post. So by the time they do their first call to action, they have good affinity.
So that's what you've been doing where people are tagging you. Okay, because I was like, what are you doing for what? I thought it was like for your challengers. I'm like, that is brilliant. I love that.
But that's a good idea for challengers too.
My,
that's good.
I had a friend in my group. She's one of my coaches. She just randomly decided to do one hammer and chisel move and video her and tag me in it. She's like, tag, you're it. Tag someone else when you're done with your workout. So then I did a workout thing and I tagged another friend. So that's another way that you can get
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
to spread out.
And that's a good way to get your challengers to realize that coaching's really nothing more than like motivating the person next door.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, Tracy, you mentioned something one time about emerald to diamond or push to diamond or
Yes.
something.
Yes. That starts March 7th. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
I think I'm already signed up for that, right?
Yeah. I have a whole list of you guys. Pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
How long? How long is the
Same
training
thing.
for?
2 weeks, weekends off. So really Monday through Friday. And I'm going to do the same thing where people get the homework the night before. And I'm going to try not to make it as I do it because making this you go, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to make the cut. Like I had my outline. I do the outline on what the days are going to be. But yeah, you guys can be the guinea pig group.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Do you want my my little piece of a diamond that I realized last week? I think snow days are a great day to post invites.
Oh, yeah.
Good feedback.
Yeah, like I was like, whoa, what's like I ended up ignoring my kids all day. I felt a little bit bad because I started so many conversations.
Wow.
Because I think there were just a bunch of moms like who had plans.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Totally.
Right.
So true.
Sorry, Texas. Sorry, Florida. That's
Right. Yeah, not for you guys. Sorry.
Having snow days. Exactly. All right, guys. Thanks for sitting in. I recorded this, so I will post it. So anyone else that is on your team that you want to take a look at this, I did not start recording till after all of our chit chat was over.
Good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
All
All right, guys. See you later.
Thank
Alicia,
you.
feel better.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.